Hello everybody. After studying this module, you shall be able to understand the concept and meaning of stress management, describe the importance of stress management, know the various consequences of stress, analyze the individual approaches to stress management, and identify the organizational approaches to manage stress effectively. Stress has become one of the most immediate concerns to not only the workers but also the employers and top management of the organizations. A deeper insight into this topic has revealed that stress is detrimental to not only the individual performance and health of the respective employees, but to the overall health of the organization. The manner in which the stress impacts the overall work scenario and environment within the organization has attracted attention to the measures of managing this stress. Organizations are becoming increasingly more aware of the importance of checking stress levels at work. The management of the organizations has started accepting as their moral duty the need to ensure the worker well-being and to provide stress-free working environment to them. Stress has been proven very costly to the organizations in terms of the losses incurred in reduced productivity as well as the medical expenses of the health problems experienced by the employees in response to stress. All these factors have made it important for the work community to realize the importance of management of occupational stress through a number of measures collectively known as stress management. This module deals with this topic in detail. Now, coming to the meaning of stress management refers to the wide range of measures and techniques adopted by people in order to control their level of stress with a view to improve everyday functioning. Stress management is adopted in the case of distress only, the kind of stress which results in fairly negative and unpleasant feelings, compounded with a reduced productivity and output. Eustress, on the other hand, does not require any special measures towards its management because it does not lead to any undesirable consequences. Stress results in numerous negative and unwanted results depending upon its severity and duration. Stress is manifested in many different aspects of life, including physical, psychological, and behavioral. Therefore, stress management too has to be broad and comprehensive in order to be useful. Stress management prevents the stressors from creating any negative impact over productivity and well-being of an individual. In other words, it eliminates the harmful effects of stress from one's life. A number of viable stress management techniques are available for use by the individuals as well as professionals. These techniques help an individual to reduce stress, provide positive feelings of being in control of one's life, and promote general well-being. Now, why is it important to manage stress? In order to adopt stress management, people must be aware of its importance. There are many factors which make the process of stress management important to the workers as well as the employers. They are, first, enhanced work performance. Stress directly works to reduce the output and productivity of an employee. It prevents individual from performing at his or her best capacity. The relationship between stress and work performance is well researched, and stress is known to adversely affect an individual's productivity in more than one ways. Therefore, stress management is important to mitigate the effects of stress and improve work performance. Second is health benefits. Proper stress management can lead to numerous health benefits. These include maintaining a healthy heart, keeping an optimum blood pressure, and even leads to better sleep. Other health benefits from stress management include weight loss, an improved immune system, and digestive system. Stress management also benefits the psychological health of an individual by relaxing the mind, which leads to better mental functioning. The third is improved relationships. Stress hampers the quality of interpersonal relationships. In addition to the health benefits, stress management provides additional benefit of improved relationships. When people are stressed, their near and dear ones, including family and co-workers, feel the effects of that stress. Stress management helps avert that. Fourth, positive attitude and outlook in life. Stress management helps an individual feel good about him or her, which results in a good amount of positivity to flow through their lives. It fosters the development of a positive attitude and outlook towards life. Fifth, better management of emotions. Another important role which stress management plays is to enable a person to better regulate his or her emotions under normal as well as stressful situations. This in turn helps them to handle such situations more effectively and with much more ease. And lastly, elimination of stress. By far, the largest benefit provided by stress management is to eliminate the distress from an individual's life and make it happier and more productive, along with equipping the individual with better stress handling ability. Now coming to the next topic, that is the consequences of stress. Stress can have various consequences in terms of physiological symptoms, behavioral symptoms, and psychological symptoms. Physiological symptoms. Stress has many harmful physiological effects. A number of physical problems and illness have been associated with stress. Chronic stress is considered a significant risk factor for illnesses such as cancer and heart attacks. Stress has been considered a factor in increased heart and breathing rates as well as increased blood pressure. It is argued that body's physical reactions to prolonged stress may result in depletion of bodily resources and may produce exhaustion. The nervous system falls under an overload if the stress is prolonged. Stress results in tensing of muscles due to the release of a hormone which is called as adrenaline, which can ultimately trigger tension headaches, migraines, and other musculoskeletal conditions. Other physical reactions to stress include disruption of body's natural digestive processes, which further results in nausea, pain, vomiting, heartburn, constipation, acid reflux, or diarrhea. Coming to the psychological symptoms of stress, physical effects are not the only consequences of stress. Stress additionally also causes a number of mental and psychological symptoms. These include depression, anxiety, irritability, nervousness, tension, etc. These psychological symptoms adversely affect the individual's ability to concentrate, decision making, memory, and mental output. These symptoms also make an individual prone to easy and quick frustration. The stressed person becomes impatient with others and highly short-tempered, easily getting angry. This also gives rise to feelings of insecurity and relationship conflicts. The third is the behavioral symptoms. Apart from the physiological and psychological symptoms, stress also results in the behavioral problems. Behavioral changes are indicative of stress because they are a diversion from the usual habits and routine of the individual. In other words, these behavioral changes indicate that the person is not under his or her usual self. These include changes in productivity, absenteeism, turnover, etc. at workplace. Otherwise, these include changes in eating habits, either overeating or undereating, increased smoking or consumption of alcohol, drug abuse, rapid speech, fidgeting, tensed or jerky movements, etc. These also include sleep disturbances manifested in the form of either oversleeping or sleep deprivation. A consistent pattern of physiological, psychological, and behavioral disturbances reflect that the individual is losing the capability to cope with stress. These symptoms act as warnings which should not be ignored and should be taken seriously. In fact, these very symptoms work as wake-up call for the individual to start working towards managing the stress. This is where the strategies of stress management come into the picture. These detrimental consequences themselves reflect how important stress management is to a person's physical, psychological, and work-related well-being. Now coming to the next topic, that is stress management, individual approaches. Stress management techniques can be broadly classified into those approaches which can be undertaken by the individual himself or herself, which is called the individual approaches, and those which have to be undertaken by the organization, which is referred to as the organizational approaches, in order to handle stress amongst the employees. Individual approaches to stress management have the basic assumption that the individual is capable of coping with stress. These approaches reflect that equipping oneself against stress is one's personal responsibility. There are a number of strategies which can be adopted by an individual for stress management. They are time management skills, physical exercise, relaxation techniques, social support, assertiveness, and sound planning. Coming to the first individual approach is time management skills. Time management skills involve simple strategies in order to put one's time to best use without wasting time in unnecessary and unimportant activities. If an individual is unable to manage his or her time effectively, it might result in work overload, skipped schedules, and missed deadlines, which in turn create stress and tension. Therefore, time management is the precursor to other stress management techniques. The second is physical exercise. Non-competitive physical exercises such as jogging, aerobics, walking, swimming, cycling, etc., have been recommended as important methods of reducing stress. These exercises keep an individual healthy and physically fit, and hence makes him or her more resistant to harmful effects of stress. They keep the heart healthy, help in maintaining a healthy weight, keep blood pressure and cholesterol in check. In addition, they provide a healthy mental diversion from work stress and are a good way of letting off the pressure. Coming to the relaxation techniques help an individual to reduce mental tension and to calm down the senses. These include yoga, meditation, hypnosis, and biofeedback. Relaxation techniques, as the name suggests, provide relaxation and a deep state of peacefulness. These techniques have multiple benefits like inducing feelings of calm and well-being, relaxation and breathing improvement, providing mental clarity, enabling improved decision focus, enabling innovative thinking, changing negative routines and habits, recharging, improving self-esteem, and overall seeing life in a more positive way. All these help an individual to effectively handle the undesirable stress responses. Coming to the next is social support. Social support can be received from a number of people in the individual's environment depending upon his or her social interaction and social circle. It can come from friends, family, acquaintances, and even co-workers. Social support and networking are considered stress management techniques because they provide an emotional backing to the individual. Having someone to talk to, let out inner feelings, and discuss one's problems always helps in stress management. The next is assertiveness. Assertiveness is the quality of being able to tell the other people to stop any behavior which is bothersome to oneself. It is basically the art of saying no to someone who is demanding too much of one's time and efforts, especially to the extent where it becomes stressful. Therefore, becoming assertive without being aggressive helps in stress management. Coming to the next is sound planning. To be able to work in an effective and smooth manner, an individual should plan ahead of time. Last-minute actions are not always the best ones. Secondly, improper planning or total lack of it results in work overload and accumulation of work till the last moment. As soon as the deadline approaches, the person starts feeling the pressure, which is a source of stress. Therefore, sound planning is an essential stress management method. Now coming to the next topic, that is stress management through organizational approaches. Stress management is not always the sole responsibility of the individual. Many a times the sources of stress are those factors which are beyond the control of the individual. That is, those originating from the organizational structure or environment. In such situation, it becomes more of obligation of the employers to ensure that their employees receive a stress-free work environment. So those techniques of stress management which are undertaken by the management of an organization are the organizational approaches to stress management, which are wellness programs, realistic goal setting, improved organizational communication, employee involvement, training, that is for self-efficacy, redesigning jobs, and employee sabbaticals. Coming to the first, that is the wellness programs. Wellness programs are initiated by the organizations in order to help their employees to better deal with the work stress. These programs are aimed at taking into consideration the total health of the employees. For example, these programs help the employees reduce smoking, alcohol consumption, lose weight, etc. They might also include in-house counseling programs on managing stress, which teach individual stress control and inoculation techniques such as relaxation, biofeedback, and cognitive restructuring. Participants are helped to master behavioral and cognitive stress relief techniques. Such programs go a long way in reducing the level of physiological arousal associated with high stress. Participants come out of such programs with an improved ability to cope with workplace stressors. The second is realistic goal setting. Unrealistic or unattainable goals which are thrust upon employees by their supervisors or superiors act as stressors. Therefore, it is important for the management to ensure that their employees receive only realistic goals. It has been empirically established that work performance improves with specific, challenging and attainable goals. The next is improved organizational communication. Improving formal organizational communications between employers and employees is a simple but also very effective approach of stress management. Clear communication reduces uncertainty and ambiguity. Workers are clearer about their roles and goals. They work best when they are well aware of what is expected of them. Thus, improving communication becomes an important approach of stress management. The next is employee involvement. Making employees feel a part of the organization is important to make them satisfied with their jobs. Increasing employee involvement in organizational decision making means giving them voice in decisions which directly affect their performance. With this kind of involvement in organizational processes, employees feel more in control of their situation, which in turn reduce their stress level. Coming to training, some individuals are better in coping with stress than others. Those who show high degree of self-efficacy are known to handle stress better. Self-efficacy can be developed in the employees through training. Certain self-awareness programs can be conducted by using psychological tools for giving insights to employees, and accordingly coping strategies can be adopted. The next is redesigning jobs. Some jobs are designed in a manner which makes them bound to produce stress in those who perform those jobs. Such jobs are repetitive, unchallenging, monotonous, or with heavy workload. Stress produced by such jobs can be easily mitigated by redesigning them in such a way so as to make them less monotonous and to provide more autonomy to the employees. When employees are given meaningful and challenging work, more responsibility and more control of their jobs, as well as increased feedback, they are bound to perform better as well as experience reduced stress. Therefore, redesigning job can be effectively used as an organizational approach to the approach of stress management. The next is employee sabbaticals. Sabbaticals are extended voluntary leaves which are an emerging trend in the corporate world. It is fast becoming a method of rejuvenating and relaxing those employees who might otherwise be stressed to the extent of approaching burnout. Sabbaticals provide a relaxing break from the work which might extend from weeks to months. These breaks provide time to the employees to simply relax or pursue other personal ventures which they could not pursue otherwise because of time constraints. Any which way, sabbaticals are being offered to the valued employees by the organizations as an approach of stress management. So finally, coming to the summary, stress management is the combined term which encompasses all the efforts at regulating stress. Stress management is aimed at reducing the harmful effects of distress. Stress management is important because it results in numerous health benefits, improved relationships, enhanced work performance, a positive outlook towards life, and better emotional management. The consequences of stress are manifested in the form of physiological, psychological, and behavioral symptoms. Approaches to stress management are classified as individual approaches and organizational approaches. Individual approaches to stress management include time management skills, physical exercise, relaxation techniques, social support, assertiveness, and sound planning. And organizational approaches to stress management include wellness programs, realistic goal setting, improved organizational communication, employee involvement, training in self-efficacy, redesigning jobs, and employee sabbaticals.